What's good, everybody? DC Wrestling back at it again with another video. I dropped another video on this Halloween night, afternoon, whatever you want to call it. Um, if you haven't seen my last video, I did a Joker movie review, even though Joker's been out for about a year now. I did a review on it, so if you want to check that out, please do. And if this is your first time here, subscribe to the channel, you know what I'm saying? Subscribe to the channel, support your boy. And yeah, man. We got a lot of stuff happening in the month of November, man. We got AEW's Full Gear next Saturday. We got the big 4 pay-per-view known as Survivor Series. We got Thanksgiving. We got the election coming up. So a lot of stuff are happening in November. So I hope everyone's ready, man, because November is going to be a crazy month. It's going to be a long month, a very unpredictable month. Anything could happen in the month of November. But I'm not here to talk about all that. I'm not here to talk about wrestling. I'm here to talk about some Halloween stuff. And yeah, hours ago, early on in the day, I posted a Joker movie review, but I thought to myself, you know what? How about I do a TV show Halloween special? You know how like you have your little TV shows and they do the little Halloween specials, you know what I'm saying? Like their Halloween theme episodes. So obviously if you didn't know, I'm a huge fan of Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? Cartoon Network has been my go-to cartoon. You know what I mean? Like I love Nickelodeon and anything, but when it comes to Cartoon Network, I'm down with Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? I'm talking about The Amazing World of Gumball, Regular Show, Adventure Time. You know, those kind of shows, man. Those shows were just fun. If you remember the Cartoon Network back in like 2010, the 2010s, that was a great time, in my personal opinion, to be a Cartoon Network. You know what I mean? Like, no disrespect, but in my personal opinion, ever since Regular Show went off the air and Adventure Time went off the air and then Steven Universe ended, in my personal opinion, nothing's really been that exciting about Cartoon Network. Now, one show that I have been willing to give a chance is Craig of the Creek. But despite that, I'm not really watching nothing on Cartoon Network, despite them doing the Amazing World of Gumball reruns. So I wanted to talk about one show that every Halloween, around Halloween, they would do a half-hour special Halloween-based episode on it, and it's Regular Show. And like I said, Regular Show, one of my favorite Cartoon Network shows. I was pissed when that show went off the air. I was actually sad when Pops, died at the end. But, if it wasn't for Pops, all the other characters would have basically been dead in the world, would have been crushed. So you got to give it to Pops. Even though Pops, you may have looked at him sometimes as stupid, but in the end, Pops was a hero. So shout out to Pops for that, man. But we ain't here to dwell in Pops' death and his ultimate sacrifice. We're here to talk about every single year. Well, not every single year. I think they started doing this in like season 2. And Regular Show would do a half-hour Halloween themed episode called The Terror Tales of the Park. And basically, it would be all the park characters. You had Muscle Man, you had High Five Ghost, you had Mordecai, Rigby, Skips, Pops, Benson even. And they would just tell scary stories. They'll just tell scary stories. You know what I'm saying? So, but it was fun. It was fun to me. It was fun. And I know there was some YouTuber that did a ranking of them. So I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do a ranking of all the episodes. I'm not going to do that. But what I am going to talk about is what, to this day, is my favorite Terror Tales of the Park And that is the very first one that came out, I believe, on October 10th, 2011. 2011. Crazy time. 2011, man, I was, what, like 7 years old at the time? I was around in third, something grade, third, second grade, something like that, first grade. So I was young. You know what I mean? I was young. But yeah, man. I remember when that episode first came out, man, and I loved it. I freaking loved it. And every Halloween, man, I would always get excited every time they would announce Terror Tales of the Park, Terror Tales of the Park 2, and then a third installment, and a fourth installment, and a fifth installment. And me personally, I didn't really like the sixth installment. I thought the sixth installment was pretty weak, probably considering the fact it was their final one. I thought that with it being their final one, I thought they were gonna go out with a blast, but they didn't. So disappointing on regular shows end. But it is what it is. So like I said, I'm gonna talk about the first Terror Tales of the Park. And basically there were three stories. You had the first one being with Pops and his doll, where Pops had this old doll and Mordecai and Rigby were like telling him to like throw it away. But Pops was like, yeah, I want to, but at the same time, I don't really want to. But the freaking doll was creepy as heck. And the fucking doll was talking about, I'm going to draw all over your face and everything. And it was just creepy, man. That freaking doll was just obsessed with drawing all over their faces. Mordecai hit him with a bat, and the doll was like, you're all going to get drawn on. And then they went to find the doll, and then as they were looking for him, the doll was hit Mordecai and Rigby, knocking them out, and was telling Pops, give me the marker so I can draw on their faces. And Pops was like, no, we ain't doing that. And then Pops and the doll fought. They fought, and he kicked him in the furnace, and he burned. And that's how that story ended. So yeah. So the second one was was High Five Ghosts and Muscle Man with them. And they had the little fire pit where, they was gonna take I believe it was a van, I believe it was. Like I said, the episode came like 10 years ago, so long ass time. And they were crashing into the crash pit basically, and they were having like people were gonna show up, but then this like group of ghosts were in the van and were attacking them. And instead of crashing into the crash pit, they were doing a performance, and everyone was booing and everything, while Muscle Man and High Five Ghost were trapped in the van and stuff. But he ended up Muscle Man ended up getting that brick and ended up crashing that van into the crash pit, and Muscle Man ended up being dead along with Ghost, because High Five Ghost was already dead, so because he's a ghost. So that's how it happened. And after that, Rigby was like, man, this ain't, man, that he was like, it's not even scary as the first doll, as the first story with Pops' story. And Muscle Man was like, well, you got something better? And that's where we got the introduction into the third story, which was the story with the wizard for Halloween, like with Rigby and Mordecai. And they went to the wizard's house, and Rigby was like, I want some candy and stuff. And like, he kept like egging the wizard on it, like knocking on the house. And the wizard didn't answer at first. So Rigby got pissed as always and egged the man's house. And the wizard came out and was like, bro, you're going to pay for that, basically. And yeah. And then soon after that, Rigby started having these changes. And he ended up turning into a house, basically. And the wizard ends up showing up to the house that Rigby turned into and killing all his friends and then killing Rigby. And then obviously Muscle Man at the end was like, man, that ain't even funny, bro. That ain't nothing. Like, that ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that won't even scary, basically. And Rigby was like, oh, that's not it. And then Rigby obviously pops out and says, Happy Halloween, basically. So that's, well, he surprises himself and he reveals himself to be the wizard and scares everyone and looks towards the camera. I guess does breaking the fourth wall and saying Happy Halloween. So so that was the first Terror Tales of the Park. Like I said, I'm not going to talk about all of them because I want to talk about the first one because the first one to this day is still my favorite one. If you watch this show, man, tell me which installment, if you want, in the comment section, which installment was your favorite. But yeah, man, that's it for regular show, man. So I ain't gonna post another video today. Tomorrow I might post a video talking about the Twitch thing with Paige because I saw the video where Paige broke down and man, poor Paige. But anyways, with anything else, man, I'll see y'all later.